Legends whisper of ancient peoples who navigated the skies in shining craft long before recorded history. Some tales speak of civilizations that harness the power of crystals, creating light and energy sources we can only dream of today. Imagine a world where humans communicated telepathically, their minds linked across vast distances. Ancient stories describe devastating weapons that could level entire cities, wielded by societies that vanished beneath the waves or sand. Could it be that before the ice descended, beings with immense knowledge roamed a vibrant Earth? There are myths of hidden kingdoms, either deep within the planet or beyond the known world, perhaps still thriving in secret. Number 6. The radiant realm of Hyperborea. Picture a land bathed in perpetual sunlight, nestled somewhere beyond the north wind, a place so idyllic it was considered the home of gods and godlike beings. This was Hyperborea, a name that itself means beyond the Boreas, the north wind. Ancient Greek writers, from Herodotus to Pindar, spoke of this legendary place, though their accounts were often wrapped in the mists of myth. What do these stories tell us about this supposed haven of advanced beings? Legends describe Hyperborea as a continent or island of eternal spring, where the sun was said to rise and set only once a year, meaning they experienced 6 months of daylight and 6 months of night, or perhaps a sun that never set at all for its blessed inhabitants. People, known as Hyperboreans, were said to live for 1,000 years, free from old age, disease, labor, and warfare. Imagine a society where peace was not an aspiration, but the very fabric of existence. They spent their days in blissful pursuits, celebrating with song, dance, and feasting. Their connection to the divine was said to be profound, particularly with the god Apollo, who, according to some myths, would spend his winters among them. What kind of advancements could such a society possess, if not the clanking machinery we often associate with progress? The Hyperboreans' advancement, as per the legends, was more ethereal, more focused on the development of consciousness and spiritual abilities. Stories hint at gifts of prophecy, levitation, and even teleportation. Some esoteric traditions, particularly those stemming from theosophy in the 19th century, expanded on these ancient whispers. These later accounts described the Hyperboreans as a second root race, ethereal, almost jelly-like beings in their earliest forms, who lived in a polar paradise before a great cooling of the earth forced them to migrate south, or adapt. According to these more modern interpretations, Hyperborea was located around the North Pole, when it was a tropical region. Its inhabitants were said to be giants, with a deep understanding of cosmic laws and the energies of the earth. They didn't build cities of stone and metal in the way we might imagine. Instead, their structures might have been more aligned with nature, perhaps using resonant frequencies or living plants. Their technology, if one could call it that, was bio-organic and psychic. Think of a society that could heal with sound, communicate across vast distances without devices, and understand the fundamental patterns of the universe. The downfall of Hyperborea in these legendary accounts is often tied to planetary shifts. As the Earth's axis tilted, or as a new ice age began to creep across the globe, their warm paradise began to freeze. Some legends suggest the Hyperboreans foresaw this change. Perhaps they migrated, carrying their wisdom to other parts of the world, influencing nascent cultures. Others suggest some of them retreated, perhaps, into a different dimension or into subterranean realms, their knowledge preserved but hidden from the surface world. Could the strange, elongated skulls found in various parts of the world be a distant echo of these beings? Or is that just wishful thinking? Legends don't offer clear answers, only tantalizing possibilities. The idea of a sophisticated, spiritually advanced northern race became a focal point for various mystical and sometimes troubling ideologies in later centuries, but the original Greek myths paint a picture of simple, blissful existence. The question remains, was Hyperborea a poet's dream, a garbled memory of a real prehistoric culture, or something else entirely? The legends simply present it as a lost golden age, a testament to a different kind of human potential. Number 5. The mysterious land of Thule. If Hyperborea was the land beyond the north wind, Thule was its even more remote, enigmatic cousin, often considered the Ultima Thule, the farthest point north, the very edge of the known world. Greek and Roman geographers and explorers, like Pytheas of Massalia in the 4th century BC, mentioned Thule. Pytheas claimed to have visited it, describing a land where the sun barely set in summer and where land, sea, and air seemed to merge into a single gelatinous substance. Was he describing Arctic pack ice and dense fog, or something more fantastical? Over time, Thule became a symbol of the ultimate, unreachable frontier. Legends grew around it, painting it as a gateway to other worlds or the remnant of an ancient, powerful civilization. In some esoteric circles, Thule was believed to be the true ancestral homeland, a place of immense spiritual power and lost knowledge. These stories often intertwine with those of Hyperborea, suggesting Thule might have been a capital city or a particularly sacred region within the larger Hyperborean realm. What made Thule so special, according to these legends? It was said to be a place where the veil between worlds was thin. Its inhabitants, sometimes depicted as towering, fair-haired, and blue-eyed, were believed to possess extraordinary psychic abilities and a deep understanding of cosmic energies. They weren't just advanced in a technological sense, like building flying machines, though some legends do attribute such things to them, but in their mastery of the mind and spirit. Imagine a society that could harness the Earth's magnetic currents, or draw energy directly from the cosmos. Some 20th century esoteric writers, particularly in Germany, wove elaborate mythologies around Thule. They envisioned it as the origin point of a superior human race, whose survivors, after a cataclysm, destroyed their homeland, spread their knowledge and genetic lineage across the globe. These interpretations often took a dark turn, becoming entangled with racist ideologies. However, the older, more primal legends of Thule speak less of racial purity and more of a land of profound magical power and ancient wisdom, isolated by ice and distance. The capital of this legendary Thule was sometimes described as a city built from ice that shimmered with an inner light, or from a black magnetic stone not found anywhere else on Earth. Its inhabitants were said to be masters of illusion, able to project images and communicate over vast distances. Some tales even suggest they had contact with extraterrestrial or interdimensional beings, gaining knowledge that was far beyond the comprehension of other early peoples. What happened to this legendary Thule? Like Hyperborea, its demise is often linked to climatic catastrophe. The encroaching ice, the shifting of the poles. The survivors, if any, were said to have either retreated into vast underground tunnel systems, still existing today in a hidden world beneath the ice, or to have used their advanced knowledge to escape the Earth altogether. Other stories suggest they simply phased out of our reality, their vibrational frequency shifting to a point where they became invisible to ordinary perception. The allure of Thule lies in its extreme remoteness and the fragmentary nature of its legends. It's a blank canvas upon which many have projected their hopes for a lost golden age or a source of ultimate power. The ancient accounts of a land where the normal rules of nature seemed suspended fed into these later, more elaborate myths. Was Pytheas merely describing Norway or Iceland? Or did his journey take him to a place that truly bordered on the otherworldly, a place whose memory has been preserved, however distorted, in the enduring legend of Thule? The stories simply offer a vision of an ancient, powerful northern center, lost to time and ice, its secrets perhaps still waiting to be rediscovered. Number 4. The sunken continent of Mu or Lemuria. Imagine a vast continent teeming with life, stretching across the Pacific Ocean, a cradle of humanity where spirituality and science walked hand in hand. This is the legendary continent of Mu, often equated or confused with Lemuria. While Atlantis is its Atlantic counterpart, Mu holds its own distinct place in the lore of lost civilizations, a place of gentle giants and profound connection with nature. The idea of Lemuria was first proposed in the 19th century by zoologist Philip Sclater, not as a human civilization but as a hypothetical land bridge to explain the distribution of lemurs in India and Madagascar. However, this scientific hypothesis was quickly adopted and transformed by occultists and esoteric writers, most notably Helena Blavatsky, the founder of Theosophy. Blavatsky described Lemuria as the homeland of the third root race, gigantic, hermaphroditic beings with poorly developed physical bodies but advanced psychic senses. They were said to have lived millions of years ago, coexisting with dinosaurs. According to her, they lacked the intellect of later races, but possessed innate spiritual wisdom. Then came James Churchward in the early 20th century, who claimed to have deciphered ancient tablets in India and Mexico that told the story of Mu, a motherland of humanity. Churchward's Mu was a tropical paradise, populated by 64 million people, known as the Nayakals. They were, according to him, a highly civilized and spiritually advanced people, colonizing various parts of the world, including Atlantis. Churchward described Musso as a technologically sophisticated society, with paved roads, magnificent temples, and even some form of advanced energy or communication. However, their primary strength was their spiritual development and understanding of the cosmos. They were said to worship a single deity, Ra, the sun god, and lived in harmony with nature. According to Churchward's accounts, the Lemurians of Mu were masters of stone construction, capable of erecting massive megalithic structures. Pointed to sites like Easter Island, Nan, Model, and various Polynesian ruins as remnants of Mu's vast colonial empire. The inhabitants were often described as gentle, peace-loving, and deeply connected to the earth. Their society was supposedly communal, without the strife and competition that plagued later civilizations. Their knowledge was said to be inscribed on sacred tablets, a few of which Churchward claimed to have seen and translated. What kind of advanced knowledge did the people of Mu possess according to these legends? Their science was not one of destructive technology, but of life-enhancing principles. They understood agriculture to a degree that allowed them to cultivate lush gardens and feed their vast population with ease. They were said to have mastered levitation or acoustic technologies to move massive stones, explaining how such colossal structures could have been built. Some stories even attribute to them the ability to control the weather, at least on a local scale, and to communicate telepathically. Their connection to the animal kingdom was supposedly profound, allowing them to live in harmony with even the most fearsome beasts. The end of Mu, as described by Churchward and others, was cataclysmic. It was not destroyed by war or internal decay, but by immense natural disasters. Volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and collapsing gas belts beneath the continent allegedly caused it to sink beneath the waves of the Pacific Ocean some 12,000 years ago, or even earlier, according to different tellings. A few survivors supposedly escaped in boats carrying their knowledge to other parts of the world, becoming the ancestors of various ancient cultures in Asia, the Americas, and Polynesia. Could the flood myths found in so many cultures around the world be a distant memory of Mu's demise, or perhaps Atlantis's? Concept of Ma or Lemuria has resonated with many who seek a more ancient, more spiritually attuned origin for humanity. It offers a vision of a past where people lived in balance with the planet, possessing a wisdom that we have since lost. While mainstream science finds no geological evidence for a sunken Pacific continent of that scale in recent prehistory, the legends persist. They speak of a gentle, wise people, a vast, verdant land, and a tragic end that scattered its survivors and its secrets across the globe. Did the statues of Easter Island once gaze out over the shores of this lost motherland? The legends invite us to wonder. Number 3. The Rama Empire of ancient India. Turn your gaze to ancient India, where sacred texts like the Ramayana and Mahabharata tell epic tales of gods, heroes, and devastating wars. While these texts are traditionally dated to a few thousand years ago, some alternative historians and esoteric interpretations suggest they describe events far older, involving a highly advanced civilization. According to these interpretations, the Rama Empire was a vast and sophisticated society that covered much of the Indian subcontinent and beyond. Cities such as Ayodhya, Rama's capital, or Lanka, Ravana's capital, were described in the texts as magnificent, with towering buildings, lush gardens, and incredible wealth. But it's the descriptions of their technology that truly capture the imagination and lead some to believe these were not mere myths, but distorted accounts of a prehistoric super-civilization. The most famous examples of this alleged advanced technology are the Vimanas. These were flying machines, described in detail in texts like the Vaimanika Shastra, though its authenticity and age are heavily debated by scholars, and mentioned in the epics. Vimanas were said to come in various shapes and sizes, from small personal craft to larger vehicles capable of carrying many passengers. Legends claim they could fly within the atmosphere, travel into space, and even move underwater. They were supposedly powered by unknown energy sources, perhaps mercury, vortex, engines, or some form of anti-gravity. Imagine aerial battles fought with craft that could hover, dart, and unleash powerful energies, long before the Wright brothers even dreamed of flight. Beyond Vimanas, the Rama Empire, according to these legendary interpretations, possessed astonishing weaponry. The epics speak of Brahmastras, Agniastras, and other astras, celestial weapons that could cause immense destruction, comparable to modern nuclear devices. Descriptions of their effects: searing heat, poisoned lands, pillars of smoke and fire rising to the heavens, are chillingly familiar to a modern audience. Some accounts even mention weapons that could target individuals with pinpoint accuracy from great distances or induce mass sleep. Could these be allegorical descriptions, or did an ancient Indian civilization truly wield such power? The society of the Rama Empire, as depicted, was complex. It had kings, warriors, priests, and scholars, with a deep understanding of philosophy, astronomy, mathematics, and medicine. The texts speak of advanced surgical procedures, knowledge of herbs and their properties, and a sophisticated understanding of the cosmos. Their spiritual practices were deeply ingrained in daily life, with elaborate rituals and a profound connection to the divine. Some legends even suggest they had contact with beings from other worlds or dimensions, who may have shared some of their advanced knowledge. What led to the decline or disappearance of this supposedly advanced empire? The epics themselves describe a cataclysmic war, the Kurukshetra war in the Mahabharata, or Rama's war against Ravana in the Ramayana. These wars involved the use of devastating superweapons which, according to some theorists, could have caused widespread environmental damage, leading to societal collapse and a descent into a dark age. The radioactive ash found at sites like Mohenjo-Daro and Harappa has been speculatively linked by some to such ancient conflicts, though mainstream archaeology offers different explanations. Perhaps it wasn't just one war, but a series of conflicts and natural disasters that brought this golden age to an end. Or maybe, like other legendary civilizations, their knowledge became too dangerous, leading to self-destruction. The survivors, it said, preserved fragments of their wisdom, which were later encoded in the sacred texts, waiting for a future age to rediscover and understand their true meaning. The idea of ancient India possessing technologies far beyond its accepted historical timeline is captivating. The texts certainly contain passages that, when read through a modern lens, seem to describe things far beyond the capabilities of the ancient world as we understand it. These legends of the Rama Empire offer a glimpse into a past where science and spirituality were not separate, and where human potential reached astonishing and perhaps terrifying heights. Number 2. The subterranean kingdom of Agartha, or Shambhala. Imagine a world hidden beneath our feet, a vast network of tunnels and caverns leading to an illuminated inner realm where an ancient, highly advanced civilization thrives in peace and wisdom. This is the legend of Agartha, sometimes Agarthi, Agartha, or Agartha, often linked with the mystical kingdom of Shambhala, a beacon of enlightenment in Buddhist traditions. While Shambhala is sometimes described as a spiritual realm or a hidden valley in the Himalayas, other legends place it, or its counterpart, Agartha, deep within the earth. The idea of a hollow earth, or subterranean worlds, has ancient roots, appearing in mythologies across the globe. The specific concept of Agartha as a technologically and spiritually superior underground civilization gained prominence in the 19th and early 20th centuries through the writings of esoteric authors like Alexander Ossendowski. Dalvetry claimed that Agartha was a real place with millions of inhabitants, governed by a sovereign pontiff known as the Brahmatma. He asserted that this hidden world possessed technology far surpassing that of the surface world, including smokeless lighting, rapid transit vehicles, and a library containing the entire history and knowledge of humanity. According to these legends, Agartha was founded by survivors of ancient surface cataclysms, perhaps from Atlantis or Lemuria, who retreated underground to preserve their knowledge and culture. They supposedly live in a state of perfect harmony, having eliminated disease, crime, and war. Their society is said to be based on profound spiritual principles, and they possess psychic abilities such as telepathy and clairvoyance. They are the guardians of ancient wisdom, waiting for the surface world to reach a sufficient level of maturity before they reveal themselves and share their knowledge. Shambhala, in Tibetan Buddhist lore, is often described as a pure land, a source of the Kalachakra Tantra teachings. While many interpret it, metaphorically, as a state of enlightened consciousness, some traditions believe in its physical existence as a hidden kingdom, perhaps in the remote mountains of Central Asia, or as some legends connect within the earth linked to Agartha. The inhabitants of Shambhala are said to be enlightened beings working to bring about an age of peace and wisdom on earth. What kind of advanced features does this subterranean world supposedly possess? Legends speak of an inner sun, or a form of artificial luminescence that illuminates their cities and caverns. They are said to have vast libraries containing records of all past civilizations and knowledge of sciences we have yet to discover. Their transportation systems supposedly involve high-speed tunnels connecting different parts of their realm, and even extending to various points on the surface world through secret entrances, often rumored to be in places like the Himalayas, the Gobi Desert beneath the Sphinx in Egypt, or at the North and South Poles. The people of Agartha or Shambhala are described as being long-lived, wise, and gentle, though possessing immense power that they use only for benevolent purposes. They are said to monitor the surface world, occasionally sending out emissaries or making subtle interventions to guide humanity away from self-destruction. Some stories even claim that UFOs are actually vehicles from these inner Earth civilizations, keeping an eye on our development, particularly our use of nuclear technology. The concept of a hidden world beneath our feet is undeniably alluring. It speaks to a desire for a repository of lost wisdom, a sanctuary from the chaos of the surface world, and a hope for guidance from beings more enlightened than ourselves. Are there really vast caverns and tunnel systems extending deep into the earth, capable of supporting such a civilization? Geologists would generally say, no, not on the scale described. Yet, the legends persist, fueled by anomalous reports, spiritual visions, and the enduring human fascination with the unknown depths. Whether Agartha and Shambhala are physical places or powerful symbols, they represent a profound aspiration for a world built on wisdom, peace, and advanced understanding, hidden just beyond our current perception. Number 1. The legendary island of Atlantis. No list of advanced prehistoric civilizations would be complete without the most famous of them all, Atlantis. First described by the Greek philosopher Plato in his dialogues Timaeus and Critias, around 360 BC, Atlantis was presented as a formidable naval power that existed some 9,000 years before Plato's own time, placing it well before the last ice age. This mighty island continent, said to be located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, often interpreted as the Strait of Gibraltar, supposedly conquered many parts of Western Europe and Africa before its catastrophic demise. Plato's account, which he claimed was passed down through his family from the Athenian statesman Solon, who in turn heard it from Egyptian priests, describes Atlantis in remarkable detail. It was a confederation of kingdoms with a magnificent capital city built on a series of concentric rings of land and water. The island was rich in natural resources, including a mysterious metal called orichalcum, which was said to flash with a fiery light and was second only to gold in value. The Atlanteans were master engineers and architects constructing elaborate temples, palaces, harbors, and canal systems. Their central temple, dedicated to Poseidon and Cleito, the mythical founders of the Atlantean lineage, was described as being adorned with gold, silver, and orichalcum, a testament to their wealth and artistry. What about their advanced knowledge and technology? Plato's original account focuses more on their societal structure, military might, and eventual moral decay than on fantastical technologies. However, later writers and esoteric traditions from the 19th century onwards greatly embellished the legend. Figures like Ignatius Donnelly in his book Atlantis, The Antediluvian World, 1882, and psychic Edgar Cayce in the 20th century painted a picture of Atlantis as a civilization with technologies far exceeding our own. According to these later interpretations, Atlanteans harness powerful crystal energies. These crystals, often described as firestones or tuau stones, were supposedly used for a multitude of purposes, powering cities, enabling flight, facilitating telecommunication, healing, and even as weapons. Legends speak of Atlantean airships, or velixi, that could navigate the skies with ease, and even submersibles for exploring the ocean depths. They were said to have advanced knowledge of genetics, astronomy, and physics. Some stories even claim they had contact with extraterrestrial beings or possessed psychic abilities like telepathy and telekinesis. The Society of Atlantis, in these more modern tellings, started as a golden age, a utopia governed by wise philosopher kings. However, as their power and technological prowess grew, so did their pride and corruption. They allegedly began to misuse their advanced technologies, particularly the powerful crystals, for warfare and control. Some legends speak of a great war between Atlantis and other ancient civilizations, perhaps the Lemuria or the Rama Empire, involving devastating superweapons. This internal decay and misuse of power, according to Plato and later interpretations, angered the gods, or violated cosmic laws. The end of Atlantis was sudden and catastrophic. Plato states that, in a single day and night of misfortune, the island of Atlantis was swallowed by the sea, disappearing beneath the waves due to violent earthquakes and floods. This cataclysm, which some connect to the end of the last ice age and the subsequent rise in sea levels, supposedly wiped out Atlantean civilization almost entirely. A few survivors, it is said, managed to escape, carrying fragments of their knowledge to other parts of the world, influencing the development of ancient Egypt, the Maya civilization, and other cultures. Could the pyramids, advance astronomical knowledge, and flood myths found in various ancient societies be a legacy of these Atlantean refugees? The search for Atlantis has captivated explorers, historians, and mystics for centuries. Countless theories have proposed locations ranging from the Azores and the Canary Islands to Antarctica, the Caribbean, and even parts of Europe. While mainstream archaeology has found no definitive proof of such a large advanced Bronze Age or earlier civilization in the Atlantic, the legend endures. It serves as a powerful cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition and technological power, and as a tantalizing glimpse of a brilliant, sophisticated world that vanished, leaving behind only whispers and a longing for a lost paradise. Was Atlantis a real place, a moral allegory created by Plato, or a garbled folk memory of an earlier, unknown culture? The stories simply lay out a grand vision of an empire that rose to incredible heights of power and sophistication before its dramatic, watery end.